Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. At least I hope this is going out on Wednesday. We'll see how far I get. I wanted to give you a more thorough market update of where things are right now. There's a lot of news coming out about the nation. Of course, it's already or almost 20 days old since that numbers came out. So I wanted to tell you because the numbers did something really weird for this last month, for October. From August to September. And so I want to run through that and give you an idea of where I think we are headed and then what you can do about that. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. We're going to start out talking about inventory and kind of where we are, because the headlines are going crazy about we don't have enough inventory, we don't have enough inventory. And of course, that was really weird here in Waco. So these are the national numbers as far as where inventory is. So you can see the new listing count from August over the last 4 years. The active listing count and total listing count is still down significantly. And that is true in Waco too. The inventory is still down significantly. And Realtor.com came out and said, while inventory continues to be in short supply, August witnessed an unusual uptick in newly listed homes compared to July. And this is really weird for this time of the year. But they were hopefully signaling a return in seller activity heading toward the fall season, which is typically the best time to buy a home. So here you are. This is a visual representation of what actually happened between July and August to September. We saw this rush of listings. And if you looked at my last email, the video that I did on the market, I did say it's kind of crazy. Everybody else says that we're down inventory, but I'm really busy taking more listings than I ever have. And here you go. Here's the data. And that is usually the case. We usually feel it on the ground a lot faster than what the national news is going to report. And that's why your real estate agent is always the best resource for information. So anyway, that's the nation. And here we are. You can see this is specifically for Waco. You can see that uptick in listings. Now, where do we think we're headed for September? What do we think the numbers are going to do? Well, because we already have access and have our feet on the ground, I can tell you that the number of listings, new listings for September, when those numbers come down, they're going to be down even more. And so let's figure out why. Why are we having such low listing rates? Well, as you can see here, 70.7% of all current mortgages, the rates are less than 4%. So you have 70% or 70.7% of mortgages that are under 4, some 26% under 3%. And so when you think about these people and whether they're going to be selling or not, and again, a lot of sellers do end up being buyers. They don't want to be homeless, right? They're going somewhere. For those people that have a mortgage that are under 3%, they are definitely not selling. As a matter of fact, if they have to move, they're looking for alternative routes as to what to do with their property to hang on to that ridiculously low 3% or under 3% mortgage rate. If you have a rate under 4, you're probably not selling. 4 to 5, you're going to think pretty hard right now before selling. Might be looking at some other options, but anything over 5 to 6, those people probably will sell, definitely would sell. Good to go from 6 to 6.75, 7.5. It's not that big of a jump. But you can see that is why, or that's a big reason why inventory is so very low. So let's talk about what that's doing to sales prices. Here is the Waco market compared to the national market. And the national market is the really thin line, and the Waco market is the fatter line. You can see we've sort of flatlined in our median listing price. So even though the nation, it seems to be coming down, even with the shortage of inventory, there are fewer buyers out there. So you would think lower inventory would mean more demand or higher sales prices because of limited supply. But like I said, the number of sellers not coming on the market because of a lower interest rate would be buyers. So that's cutting into both seller inventory and buying. So as a result, on the national level, we see prices coming down a lot. Waco seems to be stabilizing. And the interesting part of that is that for Waco, you could actually see from July to August, the number of price reductions came way down. So people doing price reductions in July are like, there's no end in sight. We got to dump it. We got to move on. August seems to be stabilizing a little bit more. As you know, as you can see, the pricing is starting to flatline, and the number of price reductions, or the fewer price reductions you can see in the Waco market, is contributing to that flatlining on listing prices. But let's see what is typically going to happen. So this is the last, going back to 2018, this is our normal fluctuation for Waco, Texas sales. You can see it follows the same basic wave, the same basic trend, no matter what the year is. The bottom line, you can see the dark green one is way back to 2018 as far as the number of sales. And the one at the very top is last year. And you can see that we're pretty much for 2023, which is that turquoise or turquoise line that I have circled in red, was following the same trend, except for in August, the number of sales dropped dramatically. Now, where are we in October? We know that sales are coming up. We, with our feet on the ground, are feeling more. We're doing more offers on more homes. So we feel like, okay, now the prices come down. We've stabilized. Buyers are hoping to go ahead and buy. The rate has stopped bumping up and down all over the place. So they're starting to feel a little bit more confidence. So we do feel like these numbers for October are going to show a slight increase back towards where the normal trends would be. But then we also feel like that may flatline. I actually think it might tick up a little bit, but that's where we are predicting the rest of the year to be. And why do we think that sales are going to tick up? And that's because we know that the interest rate is predicted to sort of stabilize, if not start drifting down a little bit. So this is where we actually feel sales prices are going to be. You can see 2023, the sales prices are the top green line, kind of going up and down and weaving in between the 2022 sales prices. But we do believe the 2023 sales prices, now that they flatline, are actually going to start trending upward as that rate, again, a lot of economists and forecasting companies are expecting that rate to start drifting down just a little bit. But the other thing I wanted to point out here is look where the 2023 price point is. Look where the 2022 median pricing is compared to 2021. It's still over and above. So we are still showing appreciation on home prices, even over 2021, certainly over 2020 and 2019 and 2018. So if you think that the market is going to crash, if you think that sales prices are going to come down much further, yeah, that's not going to happen. It isn't going to. I mean, I can already tell you where September is going to end, and it's going to be trending up. And you can see from August, the number actually flatlined and with fewer price reductions. So take this as your sign. So the next thing we're going to talk about is equity, because as you can see from the previous slide, the numbers keep going up. Sales prices keep going up. So let's talk about equity. Americans are sitting on a tremendous amount of equity. As a matter of fact, 68.7% of all homeowners have zero mortgage at all, or at least 50% equity in their home. So when people talk about, oh, there's going to be a wave of foreclosures, we just don't see how that's possible given the amount of equity that people have. I mean, even if you look at the people that are in negative equity, the red on the graph, it's the far down left-hand side, only 0.12% of homes that have a mortgage on them are in negative equity. But the majority, like 8% of homes, either have zero or have level or greater equity in their home. So that's why we just don't see a foreclosure thing happen. Selma Hebb, chief economist at CoreLogic, says the average U.S. homeowner now has more than $274,000 in equity, up significantly from $182,000 before the pandemic. However, this is old, and the new average that came out this last month is $290,000 in equity. Since 1991, you've got a national average of 297.7% appreciation since 1991. Just over the last 5 years, 55.8% appreciation just over the last 5 years. And what this does for you is even though the interest rate is high, this gives you the ability to be an all-cash buyer, no mortgage payments, and sellers may be more inclined to accept offers from buyers who make cash offers. Everybody thinks that cash is king. Even sellers sometimes think that they would really like to have a cash offer, no appraisal, maybe they can close quicker, seems to be really attractive to sellers. Number two, having all this equity when you're selling your home and buying another one gives you the ability to make a larger down payment, which can offset the higher interest rate. So a lot of people still aren't so concerned about the rate because they have so much equity. And then, of course, a lot of our baby boomers, those are the people with the majority of equity in their homes. This equity that they have in their homes helps them offset or buying into an assisted living facility, making that transition a lot smoother. What I would like to offer you is a professional equity assessment report. What we're going to do here is we're going to look at what your home is currently valuated or probably would sell for on the market, and then offsetting that by the amount that you owe in your mortgage to give you the exact amount of equity that you have to play with moving forward, and what that looks like whether you are trying to buy, cash out, relocate, move into assisted living. Having that number and really knowing that number, we just find people are just so surprised at actually how much equity that they have when we really look at the numbers. So we're offering to do this for you. It'll take me maybe 5 minutes to run through the house, get you some numbers very quickly. Then we can talk about next steps, whether you want to sit and hold, what the market's going to look like over the next year. It's never too early to start, but knowing certainly gives you more options and more ideas, and maybe even just a level of comfort that you didn't have in the past, considering all of the crazy headlines out there on the news. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please give us a call. We'd love to visit with you. I'm Christy McGowan with Next Home Our Town. Talk to you soon.